Hello and welcome to a special program of Cricket Predicta brought to you by 1xBet. We're making infrastructures Delhi NCR and we are at Sharjah Marbella Resorts, very close to the Sharjah Cricket Ground. And guess what do we have at the background? We have the Flag Island. It's a cricket academy which nurtures and creates the future talent. Many months ago, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, there were two heroes who actually landed here. One was Matre and the second one was Vaibhav Suryavanshi. And if you ask me who were the two big stars we are talking about in the IPL, we would have thought about Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni. But in the last 1 week, we had emergence of two of the new stars, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who scored 100 of 35 deliveries, and we had Matre, who made a brilliant 94 last night. But why are we talking about this in today's context? Well, we've got two teenagers and you've got two old war horses in Kohli and MS Dhoni. And guess what? The stars actually started playing from here 6 months ago at the Asia Cup under 19 when they took on the mighty Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and in a very close leaf out encounter. But the best part was when we spoke to them a few months ago, Vaibhav Suryavanshi was completely innocuous. He was completely dismayed and in a different trance altogether when he went out to bat and when he came in. We had a chat with him. But again, that's a story for another day. Well, last night was completely different. You had Virat Kohli at one end and you had MS Dhoni on the other. Guess what did we happen? It was a weekend. It was a blockbuster. The game went on to the last game. And guess what happened? It was a full-time blockbuster entertainment box office show over the weekend, which everybody enjoyed. And that's what keeps the IPL alive. Well, let's talk about the game last night. It was a closely fought game. Bangalore lost the toss, went into bat, scored 213, and then you had brilliant performances by Jadeja and Matre, who scored 94 runs just to salvage the pride for CSK, but it was not going to happen. 2 runs short. Well, we have a podcaster from Australia who's going to throw some spotlight on particular game last night, and we have Paul tonight. Paul, welcome to the show. Very pointed question here. CSK gave 6 extra runs last night as extras. Yes, 6 extras as compared to RCB, who must have lost 4 catches, but more importantly, just gave one single run in the extras. CSK loses by 2 runs, and guess what happens? Mayhem breaks down. Do you think in a tightly contested game, these extras really matter? Your views?
Well, what a wonderful game of cricket that was. That had absolutely everything. I mean, even to the point of Dhoni's bat almost failing to meet the measurement standard as he came out to face a hat-trick off a ball that should have been given not out but was given out, and then they didn't challenge it in time, even though they tried to challenge it. I mean, it was an incredible game of cricket. I don't think you can blame the extras that CSK conceded. If anything, I mean, I know that RCB only conceded the one extra, but for a moment it looked like that was going to be the decisive one. Yash Dayal bowling the waist-high full toss that was hit for 6 by Shivam Dubé right near the end. That meant that they then needed only 6 off 3. I thought that was the game done and dusted. And you'd say, well, that was very, very costly. There was the no ball from Khalil Ahmed, I suppose, where his back foot hit the line in the midst of that incredible onslaught from Romario Shepherd, which ultimately extended the over by 1 ball, and he then ultimately hit the final ball of the over for 6. And, a couple of wides that then give that extra ball. I think I don't mind wides so much that these days it's so hard for bowlers. Sometimes you have to flirt with that wide, the guideline, in order to try to get a dot ball or concede just one. No balls, they're harder to forgive, but I don't think there was too much to the extras last night. I think it was just a wonderful game of cricket. Either side could have won it, and it was, a pulsating spectacle.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, it's very interesting that RCB is building the nucleus after 17 years. When the teams are going top heavy, they're building the top teams, the top order. RCB seems to have worked on the lower order. Look at Tim David, Pandya, Shepherd, and they scored pretty heavily in this tournament. Your views on building a nice lower middle order. Your views?
Well, there's plenty of positives for RCB this season. That partnership last night between Romario Shepherd and Tim David. I say partnership. Who would have thought that a 55-run partnership, or however many could be scored, would feature Tim David scoring just two? He barely faced the ball, but that is quite incredible. And Romario Shepherd, some of the most outstanding hitting ever seen in a tournament famous for its outstanding hitting. So yes, I think that Krunal Pandya, an excellent acquisition as well. And don't forget Josh Hazlewood. I know he kind of was always playing for them, but then missed the IPL of 2024. They got him back in the auction for 2025. And he has been superb. Concerns for them that he missed the game last night with that shoulder complaint. That's been a little bit of a pattern, that he sometimes comes down with what seems to be a fairly innocuous kind of injury, and then it keeps him out for a while, but they're hopeful for having him back in the next game. So yeah, RCB looking good.
Well, this is a third and an important question to you. CSK seems to be taking a flack for their top old aging war horses, but suddenly you've got Matre, Brevis, Rashid. They bring in a lot of freshness and youthful exuberance to the team. Your views on the way these guys have been playing in the last 5 matches?
Well, it's been a very grim season for Chennai. Ayush Matre does look a really exciting prospect. The way that he absolutely smashed Boovy everywhere last night, and just the innings of great class. You could tell from the commentators how impressed they were, and at such a young age to be so powerful and so threatening in the IPL is very exciting for CSK, and also, as if they needed it, exciting for India. I keep on going on about it, but yet another highly talented young Indian player on the rise. Sheikh Rashid, obviously they must see some real potential in him. Also young, hasn't done as much yet, but they're not stupid. So clearly he's got some potential. And Brevis, yeah, fantastic player. Needs to learn to review a bit more quickly last night, getting a golden duck and clearly the ball missing the stumps. So rather than trying to complete the single, which wouldn't have counted anyway because it was a dot ball, should have been going upstairs given that they had 2 reviews to come. But so some promising signs for CSK, but they're not going to remember this season for anything other than it being, possibly their worst IPL season ever.
Well, we'll have to let you go, Paul David. Thank you very much, Paul, tonight. We'll now invite Stanley Chiozzacha. Stanley, of course, is coaching currently at Dubai's Sportive Cricket Academy, and he's an astute mind, brain, and voice of the game of cricket. Stanley, welcome to the show, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Lucknow versus Punjab today is going to be quite an interesting battle. Both the teams, their top 3 batters have scored 300 runs each. Does that make it a top-heavy battle? It used to be a bowler versus bowler. It used to be an all-rounder versus all-rounder. But suddenly it's become the top 3 versus the top 3. How do you make of it?
So Neil, it's a top order versus top order kind of affair in Dharamsala, which happens to be one of my favorite grounds, having had an opportunity to experience it in the 2016 T20 World Cup. What a fantastic venue this is. However, it's Lucknow versus the Punjab Kings, and yes, these two teams have got top orders that have been going about their work diligently and aggressively. Importantly, getting the job done in terms of run scoring is concerned. However, these are not only the only 2 teams in this IPL season that have been doing well with regards to their top orders concerned. Look at Gujarat Titans, for example, Rajasthan Royals, RCB, to put these 2 names again into the mix. However, the teams that have done well in this IPL have had the heavy lifting being done by the top order. Over 60 to 70 runs of the runs that have been scored by a top order, that team is doing well at this stage. So it's something that's there. It's working. Why? The best time to be batting, and this is the reason why teams are investing in the top order. The restrictions, the rules and regulations of the T20 game are such that power play only has 2 fielders outside the circle. Best time to get value for your shots, your ground strokes and your aerial shots. Something that can't happen in the middle order, and hence why it is so difficult to be batting in the middle order. You're facing some of the world's best bowlers, and in the middle order, the field is spread. So those aerial shots that you can easily play inside the power play become risk, because if you mistime it, you're presenting the boundary riders with the catch. So teams are investing heavily with their top orders, and teams are looking to capitalize, get good starts, and hopefully get someone to bat through from the top order. It's a style that's working. It's a tactic that's working. At the end of the day, it's just about which top order is getting the job done a lot better. And I'll tell you what, the impressive top order for me at this moment in time is the Punjab Kings. So there's no team that's going to be relentless in this, or we're going to change or witness a paradigm shift to say, look, our top order has had enough of batting. Let's give an opportunity to the middle order. That's not going to happen. At the end of the day, it's about which top order stays in form and continues to do the job.
Well, it's a very interesting battle between the two teams. Punjab has got 13 points out of their 10 matches. LSG has won 10 out of 10. Today's game is going to decide in the middle of the points table. Who do you think? Where do you think? And why do you think what you think?
Who wants it more? At the end of the day, it's number 4 versus number 6. Punjab Kings versus Lucknow Super Giants. I'll tell you what, Lucknow Super Giants have a lot of work to do here in this match. Why? They find themselves in that number 6 position, 4 points behind that top 3. Whereas if you look at Punjab Kings, they're at number 4, in a much more comfortable position, but they know that this loss could further derail that push for that playoff spot because the bar has just been raised. Not even a team with 15 or 16 points is exactly safe. So every point is key in the push for that playoff position. However, it's more about what the team is facing, what the team has to do with regards to Punjab Kings. They are playing at Dharamsala, their second home. It's not a team with good fortunes for them. In their last 4 matches here, they've resulted in losses. So there you go, playing at a field that opens up and makes it an even playing field. And Lucknow Super Giants will be looking at this heavily and say, look, this is a team that's at home, but is it really at home? So pretty much even Stevens in terms of playing wise, in terms of conditions. So Lucknow Super Giants will need to capitalize on this. A further aspect that is really of concern in that Punjab Kings batting lineup. Yes, they've done well. There's no two ways about it. Plenty of runs scored up the top order. But that number 4 spot has been an issue. 5 players have already been used in 10 matches this season alone for that number 4 spot. So therein lies an issue. Therein lies the line of crack that the Lucknow Super Giants will be looking to expose. Get that top order early. If it can't get the wickets, perhaps slow down the economy rates. It's not always easy to walk out of the park and say, I want to get wickets and get it, but you have to try and minimize and control that scoring rate. Make sure that by the time the middle order comes in, there's not much damage done. At the same time, obviously, Lucknow Super Giants, they've got issues of their own. They've lost 3 of the last 4 matches in where Nicky Puran has not scored. 63% of their runs have come through the top order. So therein lies something that Punjab Kings will be thinking and looking at very heavily and saying, look, we've got to dislodge this top order, expose that middle order again, and make sure that they do not score in that middle period. So it's a power punch. It's a boxing match. George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali. It's a rumble in Dharamsala. The question is, who takes this and who takes the all-important points in that push-off to the playoffs?
Well, Stanley, thank you. That was a very interesting answer you had. Now we are inviting Noel David into the discussion. Of course, Noel David has played for India in the late 90s, off spinner, astute coach, and now he's coaching the Assam junior team. Noel David, welcome to the show. Quick observation. We are playing at the beautiful, picturesque Dharamsala cricket ground, one of the best in the world, yes, if not the best. Well, it's got a very nasty record. The team batting first have won all the matches. Is it go for the toss, win the toss, go pad up and win the match? Is that the mantra of the game today?
I, Sunil, always felt that Dharamsala is a lovely ground for cricket to happen. Whether it's ODI or whether it's a test match or whether it's IPL matches, people love the cricket out there in Dharamsala. People come out in huge numbers to support the home team, especially when IPL does happen. I think the spectators come in huge numbers to support the home team. That's why it becomes an advantage for Punjab Super Kings. If I talk about the wicket, Sunil, the wicket does help the batting team a bit because the ball comes, because of the surface which is hard, the ball comes on nicely onto the bat, where it helps the batsman for free scoring runs, and yes, there will be initial, part of the inning, there will be a bit of lateral movement where it helps the ball to swing a lot, but later on it becomes nice batting strip. That's why you see a lot of teams which have won the toss, have chosen to bat first. But I don't know whether there will be a due factor out there in later part of the inning. If there is, then it becomes a disadvantage for the team which is fielding second. But match against LSG and Punjab Super Kings is going to be electrifying, because it will help Punjab Super Kings, because they know the conditions out there in Dharamsala. So I think this game is going to be a live wire game, and we have to sit and watch till the end of the what's going to happen, who's going to win and who's going to lose, because whoever wins will climb the points table.
Well, it's the old friends versus each other, of course. We're talking about Rishabh Pant, the skipper, versus Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal, remember, has gone one of the highest bidding price for IPL. Point number two, very important. Apart from bidding and getting the highest paid, he's also the highest wicket taker in the IPL overall history. So what do we have in store for each other? Your views?
Unfortunately, Sunil, for Rishabh Pant, nothing is working. It feels very sad to see such a player struggling to get back into form and to score runs in this IPL. Because Rishabh Pant is a player who we all know is quite dangerous, especially when he's in full song or full form. He can destroy any team at any given time. But at present and at this moment, he is struggling to get back into form. That will be an advantage for Yuzvendra Chahal in today's game against LSG, because we all know what Yuzvendra Chahal is. He is bubbling in confidence after that hat trick, and he's such a shrewd bowler, or if I say, he's very, very cunning bowler, I can say. He reads the game very well. He knows the condition when he comes into bowl. According to that, he sets his plans, which batsman what to bowl to, So he's such a kind of bowler. So I feel that this contest between Rishabh Pant and UV, I think Yuzvendra Chahal will have that advantage against Rishabh Pant, because he knows Rishabh Pant is struggling to get runs, and I think Yuzvendra Chahal will hold that advantage. But we all have to see, this is a T20 format, where if Rishabh Pant gets going, then I think this will be a great contest to watch.
We now let go of Noel David, but also invite Toss Rizvi. Toss, thank you for joining into this discussion. You're a nice, brave voice, but when it comes to a match between Punjab and LSG, who do you think is the favorite for the match tonight?
See, I think it won't be that easy for Lucknow to avenge that defeat, because Punjab has been doing extremely well, especially the top order. Priyansh Arya and Prabhsir Singh and Shreyas Iyer, of course, he's back in form right now. I mean, there was a lull period in between. But the way they have dominated in this league this year, especially Punjab, they've been extraordinary. I mean, thanks to their top order. Lucknow has been very inconsistent. They are sixth in the points table, which is so unfortunate the way they were playing in the initial stages. And you know what? This Lucknow's form, the top form, coincided with Nicholas Puran's form, the good form of Nicholas Puran. Unfortunately, once you saw the dip in form of Nicholas Puran, you saw these guys, Lucknow Super Giants, struggle. So I think it's at Dharamsala, it's going to be very difficult, because fast bowlers are going to have their say maximum. But I think most of the match you will see Punjab dominating, because they are going to play at their home ground, and this is the place where they started their preparations for the league under Ricky Ponting. So I think Punjab will be more comfortable at home, and Lucknow will be at the receiving end. So no chance of avenging any kind of defeat.
Thus, before we let you go, I'm going to ask you, what do you make up of the match where, the points table is getting really excited in the center, and some teams are performing good, some teams are not. But in today's context, what do you make up of the win and the loss tonight on the game today?
Definitely Punjab will have edge over their counterparts, Lucknow Super Giants, especially when they're playing at home. But can they Will it be a high scoring encounter? I mean, depends on the batsmen of Lucknow. I mean, they have been heavily dependent on their top order. Of course, we saw Mitchell Marsh, we saw Aiden Markram, we saw this guy Nicholas Puran. So if these guys perform well in the top order, then there is a chance of being a high voltage encounter. But then again, you need to have a package which Punjab has. Punjab has a good package, especially with Yuzvendra Chahal in good form, returning to good form, 11 wickets in 4 games. Apart from that, we know what exactly Priyansh Arya and Prabh Simran are doing. Yeah, there is some weakness, some loophole in the middle order, but then they can bounce back. Yeah, Glenn Maxwell is out. That is one minus. But he wasn't performing that well, what one should have expected of him. But yeah, they'll be making a couple of changes depending on the conditions. They're playing at Dharamsala. Yeah, the conditions will be a bit easier compared to the. If you talk about the conditions, if you talk about the weather, they have played throughout in the hot conditions. Dharamsala will be a bit on the cooler side. So yeah, it will be a relief for both the teams, so they can enjoy their cricket. But then when it comes to Lucknow Super Giants, they'll have to put a collective effort, a good combination of formidable side, and especially Rishabh Pant has to be in good form, because the Punjab outfit has good seamers, and Arshdeep Singh, he does well with the new ball. Of course, UC is coming good with the old ball, or maybe the semi-new ball in the middle overs. So it's going to be kind of a good contest, but if it has to be a high voltage encounter, Lucknow Super Giants will have to match up with their performance against Punjab, which I am not seeing anyway close. But then at the end of the day, it's T20 cricket. You never know where the game goes, and it could be their game.
Well, there you had it. You had 4 of the best voices of the game talking about the game, the stories, the stats, the drama, the everything put together when it comes to a weekend match between 2 of the best teams together. And what we saw last night was absolute bliss for a cricket fan altogether. Well, this is Sunil Eshkala signing off from the beautiful Marbella Resorts just behind the Flag Island. Yes, this is the same place. I keep reminding, this is where Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Matre made their debut. Well, I'm signing off and hope to see you soon tomorrow. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.